Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Collapse, a Political Simulator. So, in the last episode, we called for an early election. We won it, and to a surprising amount, we won it by a landslide. We got all the regions now. So, now I'm just going to try and focus on trying to actually maintain this power and actually trying to solidify my power and stuff like that throughout the country. So, let me see. I think the majority. Okay, I don't have a problem here. So, the best thing I can do is try and shore up support in the other areas over here. I'm not sure exactly how I'm gonna go about doing that because I also kind of need to balance that with actually doing stuff for the government. But I want to also try and maintain some support as far as the United States and Russia goes. I don't know what economic aspects that will have an effect on as far as like if it'll tank my economy or anything like that. But I think if I turn around and kind of strike a balance between the two, it should be okay. Also, I need to try and build up my military so I can deal with this issue down here. I might go in a little bit of a diplomatic type of aspect and try and see if I can just get support of the loyalists so I can get them back in the region. But I feel like this has caused me a lot of pain and sadness in some of my other playthroughs. So I'm going to try and focus on that too. And other than that, it won't be a whole lot going on. So you're probably going to see me just doing a lot of skipping and a lot of just the usual trying to show up support and trying to turn around and just get support in these regions, which will turn around and help me out later on. So I might pass a few laws, but it won't be a whole lot going on. So let's see here. Let's start this off. I have 131 party funds and I have an administrative budget of 32. So I can do quite a bit with that. Let's see. Yeah, I probably should go ahead and show up support in these two areas because they're pretty close to being majority. Well, I have majority support in these regions already. So yeah, just do that. And do a little bit over here as well. Also, I think I can go ahead and kind of take some money off the top, or take some influence off the top over here. Well, they have operability of 75. I'll wait on that because eventually it'll get to the point of the operability just being ridiculously high. In my opinion, the Ministry of Defense is probably the best department to turn around and get, because even though it turns around and it has the issue of corruption can kind of skyrocket in this area quickly. I usually have a situation where if I get the Ministry of Defense and I go ahead and I start selling weapons and everything, then you can get a ridiculous amount of money pretty quickly. So I mean, and I don't know if there's any negative effects of turning around and having too much of a budget, but yeah, I usually have a pretty big budget and it's not that big a deal. So let me see. I'll go ahead and turn around and let me see. I think if I do a couple sudden, I guess, inspections or whatever it is, then it'll go ahead and knock my operability up and it'll knock the corruption down. Then I can go ahead and keep selling weapons to Africa and to the east. So all right, so there we go. Then I can go ahead, put these two on, and I can do the private military campaigns as well. And as you can see right there, that's +5, that's +75, that's +50. So yeah, you can get a ton of money in this department. And I basically don't even have to worry about this anymore. So this department is pretty much done. I can keep doing the sudden audits so that way I can keep the corruption down. And then I can also kind of parry that and turn around and keep my influence pretty high and keep the keep me some party funds as well, because again, I'll just have a ridiculous amount of money. Let me see. It is necessary to carry out an army reform and determine the term of the conscription and what to do with the conscription in general. I'll go ahead and change that as well. Eyes to the center. Attention. I would be glad to serve to fawn it thickeningly. Okay. Such rubbish is said by today's youth. For 200 years, morals have not changed at all. They would have been returned to the times of Nikolai Palkin. Wow, I would give them heat. President, solve this disgusting question. Generals need working hands to build palaces. Besides, my brand new foreign car needs care. Someone, after all, has to clean it every day. At ease. Okay. So go to contract army, or we can go to a make the draft for 2 years. I'm actually not sure about the difference here. So, of course, anybody that's seen my suzerain playthrough, if you turned around and did the basically the conscription or anything like that, it actually kind of had a negative impact, because even though the military kind of wanted it, you didn't have people who willingly wanted to serve. So that turned into a big issue. As far as to go to the contract army, I'm not sure what that does. I'm not sure if that implies that this is an army of standing professionals, people who actually want to be there, but it does cost 500 Ministry of Defense budget. So yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna go ahead and solve this later. So that way I'll go ahead and I've always done the make the draft for 2 years, because I feel like it'll give you a bigger military and it'll probably help out in society. But I'm gonna go with the logic that because it costs more, it probably is better. So I'm just gonna solve this later for right now. We will return to this issue later, Comrade Chairman. All right. So now that we have that, let's go ahead and advance a little bit. And to keep this going, I don't want to advance it too fast, because then a lot of times if you advance it too fast, you kind of get into the spiral where it's kind of hard to pause it. So I'm pretty sure there's a quick key to do it, but all right. So that gives me, all right. Good afternoon, Chairman. True, I'm not sure if the day is really good for you. I inform you that our foreign policy allies in the form of LDPR are dissatisfied with the work of SRP. They give us an ultimatum. Either we accept border control or we praise their policies. Of course, no one denies that we can simply negotiate with them in a more delicate way. However, the decision is yours. I'll just bribe them. I don't really want to go ahead and try and pass any laws that might have a negative consequence on me. Okay. All right, so now I'm at 52 funds. Let's see what the Ministry of Defense is looking like so far. All right, so I'm at 849. I could go ahead and spend that 500, and that will put me at a slight deficit. Yeah, I'll just keep waiting. I'll keep waiting. Do a sudden inspection so I can keep my operability high enough to actually do this. Yeah, let me just keep that really high. That way I can keep my corruption down and operability high. As far as the other departments I have control over, let's see, I have the Prime Minister's department. It's not a whole lot I can do. I just have to wait for this right now, because the only thing I can do is raise and update. And this will slowly get my operability up to a pretty good high. Well, to at least about 70 or 80, maybe before the next election. So I'll just have to leave that alone for right now. Internal affairs, that's somebody else's problem. Do I have any other departments? I can't remember. Let's see. Education. Okay, so this is at 79. I do need to deal with corruption at some point. And Purges doesn't ironically do that much as far as knocking corruption down. So I need something that's actually gonna do a lot as far as knocking it down. Holidays. Statesman. Right, left. Interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find some way to turn around and actually knock that down quite a bit. I'm gonna try holidays. Maybe that'll help. Hello there, Chairman. Didn't expect to see me. And here, we are people in the Mafia too, and we also like to have a good rest. I suggest changing the number of holidays. Here's a list. Study well. Let's see. Ministry. Republicans should rest more often. Republicans owe me. Republicans owe nothing. Yeah, let's go ahead and go with that. Mafia loves to relax. You have done a lot for our country, Chairman. Long live the generous government. Now we noble citizens of the Republic are resting for a few days longer. However, some particularly wealthy residents of the country believe that this will negatively affect the GDP. So, of course, the upper class won't like that, but the middle class should like it, so that's fine. As long as I have support with the middle class and the lower class, that should give me enough to keep me in power. I really don't see a whole lot of benefit as far as helping with the upper class. I would imagine that it would affect the, it would probably affect businesses and stuff like that, but I'm sure I can kind of get around that through other means. Let's see. Holidays have been done. Yeah, there's just nothing to really knock down corruption for real. So there's plenty of things to knock my corruption up, but... And it's funny because, like, as you get into the later parts of the department, there's even more corruption that can happen. So let's try, I guess, some purges. I'll try one, but then that knocks my operability down, which causes problems. So, all right. So I'll leave that there for now, and I don't think I have any more. So I think I chose just to have 3. I want to keep it at 3 just because it's a lot easier to manage those. And also, the other thing too is that, like, when if your budget gets too low, which I don't know what causes your budget to just evaporate. I've had plenty of games where your budget just completely evaporates like nothing. I don't know what causes it, but if your budget gets too low, you'll turn around and you'll get a negative modifier, which I think it can go 2 levels. And then after that, I think either you lose a department, which causes you to lose a lot of support, or it can actually give you a game over too, if I'm not mistaken. So have to be a little careful about that. Let's see, research. We have a couple months left on this research. Let's go ahead and negotiate with the United States and go ahead and get that done. All right, that should be enough. Yep, we're at 21. So now we have the RSS. I think social tech is one of the ones that I might want to wait on. I think I'll do that last because I think you need other departments in order to get the most out of the social tech. So I'll just go ahead and wait on that. I'll do the internet next. Modern technology makes it easier for the masses to access information. The internet, which has recently been actively spreading around the world, is a clear confirmation of this. In many Western countries, government websites begin to appear that publishes the latest news on the work of ministries. However, the Republic is still an outsider of IT technologies, and it is unlikely that in the near future we will see something similar to in our country. So yeah, we will send funds to create government websites. If we had portfolio now, if you have the Ministry of Economy, you could do certain things, and if you have the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, you could do certain things. And to me, honestly, that seems to be the only real benefit to having certain other departments and stuff like that. Of course, you can pull off different things if you turn around and have if you have control over those departments. Something I would like to see in the future, if there's an update, is that if you're the head of the government, then perhaps you can try and negotiate or request that the other, like, you have options to these as well. Because I mean, I understand not being able to do it if you're in the opposition side of it, but I mean, I feel like if you're president, that's a little different. Or maybe again, and I've suggested this before, that if you turn around and there should be a law where you can change the power of the ministries, the appointment of ministries and stuff like that. That should be completely different. But I know that there's balancing issues and stuff like that. So for right now, we'll send funds to create a government website. The leader of the Republic signed a decree on the creation of a website for the government of the Republic. For this case, the domain was taken. Government RP Republic has taken an important step towards the computerization of the media. So yeah, there's that. Now, as you see, I got a little boost because of that. So I guess that'll help me out in certain regions and stuff like that. I don't know if I want to pass any laws. Let me see. I could pass a law for the state structure. I might package that as well. So I'll do state structure, power of authorities. I don't know what this actually does. It doesn't seem like it actually does anything, but I'm sure it does. Let's see. The president has extensive powers, is elected by parliament, and has the ability to nominate for prime minister as well as reject laws proposed by parliament. Some call this state of affairs the first step towards dictatorship, but they are extremely mistaken, as it is necessary to create a truly sovereign democracy based on parliamentary democracy. Now, of course, the conservative elements like that and the upper class like it, but not so much for the rest. Let's see what we have here. Analogous to the French Constitution, the president is elected in direct elections, is the head of the country's armed forces, and has the authority to dissolve parliament in cases provided for by the Constitution. So it seems like nobody wants that, but the lower class wants it. Now, I actually could pass this. Interesting. And what else? We have a proportional system. I really don't want the proportional system. I kind of want something that gives me more advantages. Let's see. What do we have? I think once I did the mixed system. Part of the parliamentary mandate is distributed according to the principles of the majority system, which contributes to the formation of a stable government, and the other part in accordance with the principles of the proportional system, which contributes to a more complete accounting of the votes and more accurately reflects the real picture of the political situation in the country. Honestly, don't care about that. I want to pass this. Now, this is just OP as hell. And actually, I have enough support to do that. So, the party that wins first place in the election and at least 25% of the valid votes will receive 66% of the seats in parliament. I could do this. And I think I will do that. So, yeah. And I will balance that by... Oh. Well, I guess I could go ahead and bribe some of these folks. Because this should be enough. Yeah, that's 14 votes. And I have 42. Oh, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that gives me the majority of the votes. Can I bribe any of you? Yeah, let me bribe you guys. All right, so I'll go ahead and bribe these folks. So that way that'll give me more than enough votes to pass this. So that means in the next election, I just need to win 25% of the vote and I just need to get a majority. And it's not too bad of a situation, because if there's a situation where I guess if my support just erodes just randomly out of nowhere, I can turn around and work with this in order to get it pushed and just get it, you know, lowered or something like that. So actually I need to do a threshold too. I want to bribe you. Is this enough? Yeah, let me add that 10% threshold. Let me see. Just in case, because if I add a 10% threshold, that should be able to get rid of some of these parties. So is it enough? I bribed these two. Well, these three, so. Oh, it got rejected. Why? Why did it get rejected? Let me see. Yeah, because I was for it. Oh, it wasn't enough support. It just wasn't enough support. Okay, that's fine. That might have been a little too much. So I'll try it again, but I'll try it with not as much. Okay, so let's come back over here. Electoral system. Huh, they're not in favor of it this time. State structure. Surely there's something that I can give them in order for them to support this law. Let me see, what else? Electoral system, there's that. Power of authorities. Okay, so now they're for it. Middle class does not approve. Can't bribe anyone. Shite. Try it again. Okay, this time I got it passed. So that was good. Okay, so now I have that passed. So we have the presidential elected by the people. And I have the archival law, which will basically give me the majority. As long as I do as well as I did last time, that'll give me 66% of the votes. Hopefully the people won't get pissed. Today, the president of Azerbaijan, Armenia, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, Moldova, Russia, and Tajikistan, is Uzbekistan, and Ukraine signed the Free Trade Area Agreement. The FTA agreement is a multilateral legal framework for regional trade on preferential terms. In the framework of the Free Trade Zone, states will have to carry out duty-free trade and tariff and non-tariff restrictions on mutual trade will be abolished in order to ensure the interest in expanding economic ties and crisis-free economic development. Okay, that's nice. Also something I should probably join if I can. Let's see what we got here. Can we do partnership? Not yet. I really need to start increasing my relations with Russia. So, yeah, let's do that. Oh, the state budget is not doing good. And let's increase our support with them just a little bit so that way we can turn around and keep them off our nuts a little bit. Why are their relations so bad? They're both in the negative, so. Okay. I'll have to work on that a little bit. Okay, as far as these regions go, then again, they probably don't like the fact that I pulled off those somewhat dictatorial things, but you know, it'll be fine. I'm sure it'll be fine. Surely that won't come to bite me in the ass at all. Famous last words. Okay, and let me get some more research done over here. Okay. And that will put me at 9 months. So that'll bring that a little bit closer to fruition. And let's advance this some more. Let's see, the state budget is still looking like trash, which means my ministries might be looking like trash. Well, so far, not yet. Ministry of Defense. Minister's Office, doing just fine. And the Ministry of Education is doing just fine also. Okay. Let's see if we could do something to kind of help that budget. Average taxes, utilities are mixed. Don't want that VAT to be any higher than what it already is. Small benefits, let's do global standards. Everybody pretty much agrees with that. Property taxes is high. Let's see, public transit owned by the state. I do feel like I need to increase the special services, but that's also one of those that I don't understand. I don't think I've never really seen it do a whole lot. So let's do great social assistance. And let's see. Abortion is allowed. Run this for medical purposes. That's nice. Persons over 16, labor law, state and trade unions, pension security, only state, road law, private allowed. Should I do state free? It loses me some support, but yeah, I'll leave it at that for right now. And I'll just go ahead and push this through. All right, so we got those laws passed. Let's keep on moving forward. On April 25th, an all-Russian referendum took place, caused by numerous conflicts between the Supreme Council and the Yeltsin-Gator government. 4 points were put to the referendum: on trust in the president and his economic policy, as well as on the need for presidential elections and the convening of a new parliament. The Constitutional Court noted that in order to make a positive decision on the first two issues of the referendum, a majority of the votes of the number of voters is required. But the situation was different with the third and fourth questions. Here, a positive decision could be made only by a majority of the total number of all voters in the country. As a result, despite the preponderance of Yeltsin supporters, the situation continues to remain the status quo. Okay, Russia has ongoing problems. Again, not shocking. Okay, their support is still not great. My budget is still not great. But I think it'll be fine. I think it should balance itself out one way or the other. Okay. And as far as this goes, still doing good. Research. 10 of 20. I guess I'll go ahead and spend the diplomacy and get that boosted back up. And that should be enough to actually deal with it completely. Yep, we're at 20 of 20, so we have the internet now. Okay. And let's develop our own closed computers. Right? Advance it a little bit more. Okay, so they are putting forth a bill. I already don't like it because it's the conservative faction and the communist faction, which means there's probably something really weird in here. So they want to turn around and do free labor in prisons. I don't have an issue with that. Oh, that's it. Huh. Okay. I mean, I guess I don't have an issue with it. I mean, it's not that bad, so sure. Okay. And I guess I need to work on my actual support again, too. And I'm going to have to kind of balance between working on my support and actually attacking the other parties as well. So let's see. Ministry of Eternal... Oh, wait. Let's do Ministry of Defense. Can I steal anything from you? Corruption is low. We do have a lot of budget. Let me get some influence. Yeah, and let me get a little bit of money. Okay. We have that. And do some sudden inspections. Okay, get that back down. Oh, excuse me. Then I'll go ahead and then the next one I'll turn around and let it get to about 500, so that way we can let the I'll let the Ministry of Defense's budget get to about plus 500, so about 900, and then I'll go ahead and do the conscription law, and I'll try the contract army and see if that works. Let's see, we've already done the uniform thing. Reformists, we must support this wing. Oh, okay. Not actually sure what that does, but I'll leave that alone for right now. Okay, I have more than enough support in my party. I really need to keep working on the different wings of the party so that way I can unify my support behind the Euro Socialists. Though that might have some negative consequences now that I think about it. So, do some charity to increase my support. Okay, and I will do some over here as well. Okay. And I think the other thing too is that if you turn around and pick different regions, they have different effects. Because as you saw right there, I used a lot of the talk show over here, and it mainly affected the lower class. Whereas when I did it up here, it mainly affected the middle class. So yeah, I think there's different levels of support based off of the different regions you actually put support into. But I'll try and show up all the support I can in these three regions. Don't really have to worry about this one. They're never going to win. No one's ever going to win this region except for me, pretty much, unless something catastrophic happens. And then over here, I'll turn around and kind of focus on trying to show up support until I don't have to worry about it anymore. And then I'll come back over here. So, advance some more. Mass rallies took place near the Conservative Republican Party. Okay. And it was the Communist Party that did it. Okay. Works for me. There are power outages, and I don't know how to actually deal with that, so. Okay, budget is back. Still have some negative effects as far as the foreign policy goes, but there doesn't seem to be a whole lot I can do about that unless I actually pull out of certain things. And then it's just a balancing act from that point on. But now that the budget is back to recovering, what can we do here? What can we do? Region is looking nice. That region is looking nice. See how the defense ministry is looking. We're at 926. See, that was just a month. That was just 1 month, and the ministry budget already went up. So let's go ahead and do conscription, and let's go ahead and do the contract army. Comrade Chairman, we will prepare the transition to reform. I swear to the glory of the Republic military. Okay, the Republic goes to a contract army. For a very long time, many have been waiting for this decree from the Ministry of Defense. Now, all sorts of crooks will not get into our armed forces, and the draft will be purely on a contract basis. Okay. So I'm assuming that means that this is like if you, like in the United States, where you can voluntarily join the military. That's what I'm assuming. Okay. Now, let's see what else we can do in the meantime. What is the Ministry of Education doing right now? Okay, the operability has gone up quite a bit. We're at 1,000 budget, so I don't have to worry about that. And the Prime Minister office, how are you doing? We're at 61.7, so not a whole lot we can do. I could push the election so they'll be closer, but it'll only do it by 3 months, so... we should amend the legislation in order to postpone the election 3 months ahead. The later, the better for us. We should amend the legislation in order to postpone the election 3 months ago. The sooner, the better for us. So there's some wording issues right there, but yeah, you can either postpone the election or you can move it forward. Let's see, push, and you can push the election back. Oh no, that's for pushing the illegal actions that you turn around and do. So I'm gonna have the election sooner. That's what that says. I'm gonna try and push for that. You can't have it in the same year, but still, that'll move the election to the 1st of January, correct? Because I think it's the month and the day. So yeah. Either that, or in this particular case, it might be November the 1st, 1997. So I think that's right. Can I actually flip that and see? Yeah, I think that's fine. I'll just leave it at that for right now. Okay, so we've done pretty much everything we can turn around and do for the military side of things. Now let's see what we can do as far as these different factions go. So for whatever reason, the National Association of the Cartels is on my side now. That wasn't the case before. But, you know, hey, I'm fine with having multiple factions on my side. That always helps. So, let's see. What can we do with them? There's usually like one action you can turn around and do, and then it'll pretty much always give you some type of impact with them. I don't know if I can do it this time. Okay, our relations with them is 100. Our relations with the Club of Generals is actually, what, 12, which is surprising. The faction does not want and never will cooperate with pacifist Brat. Okay, that's fine. The Lurid Mafia does not like us. And we have a little support, actually, with the Union of Feminists, but they haven't been formed yet. Yeah, they're still not created. And we have some support with the church, ironically enough. And of course, the trade unions, we're pretty high with them. Let's do a Congress with them just to try and increase their support a little bit. And I'll give some money to my party so they can fuck off. Okay. So now they're back into our good graces. To the party, and let me put some money in the bank. Need residence. Crap. Alright. Boost me. Okay, so then I need to go over to the ministry and get some administrative points from the military. It's all a balancing act. It's one big balancing act. Okay, so that should be enough. Come back over to the party. Legal actions. Recruits. Okay. So now that puts me in their good graces. And the wing costs 10 party budget. Okay. Can't strengthen it just yet. So I think they need... I think they need 100 each time, so it's gonna take a while to actually get that all the way up. Oh yeah, I'm not the leader, so I don't have to worry about that. We must stand up for the middle. No, we ain't gotta worry about that. So, okay. Let's go ahead and advance through. The elections have passed, and I, on behalf of our faction of the Socialists, congratulate you on this event. However, we are entering a new era with the same problems. Our party is on the verge of a split. Contradictions literally tear it apart from the inside. Before the elections, we managed to maintain a balance of power, but now the two main wings of our fight are fighting for their influence, but neither side can seize the initiative. Among the party's factions, the dominant ones are the pro-Russian socialists, who, in their words, advocate the preservation of traditional relations with Russia and the CIS, and also a faction of pro-Western socialists, who are supporters of European integration and the European development path. Constant feuds in the party can threaten our agitation by discrediting our movement in the eyes of the public. So we must accept either side by appointing the leader of one of the wings of the party as his second secretary. What do you think? Let me see. Again, I did say before that I was going to kind of work more with Europe, so let's do the European side. Hack a window to Europe with supporters of the European integration. At the next party meeting of the SRP, the party leader appointed a candidate from the Atlanticism wing of the SRP faction as her deputy and second secretary of the party. This action aroused indignation on part of the opposing faction of the pro-Russian socialists, but the party leader persuaded them to abandon the party disputes and moderate the ardor, as according to her, we should not give in to the temptation of disputes and split our movement because any of our problems can play into the hands of the enemies. The convincing speech of the leader was able to enlighten uncompromising adherents of the Eastern path of development, but for how long? So yeah, eventually I'm going to have to turn around and do something about that. Why do I have no money? Okay. Let me wait a little bit. That should give me some money, I think. With the collapse of the Soviet Union, Ukraine's economy, which is seriously connected with the Russian one, suffers fall after fall. 3-digit price increases, massive unemployment, and the closure of enterprises. These are the result of the first years of the president Leonid Kravchuk. As a result, the miners of Donbass went on strike and put forward their demands on the government, namely restoring relations with Russia, providing autonomy to Donbass, and improving the material situation and working condition of workers, raise the minimum wage level from which there are numerous accruals, material assistance. The government commission, which arrived to negotiate with the workers, refused. At the same time, that part of the requirements that took into account the interests of the directors' corps and was aimed at returning fines for exceeding consumption funds to state enterprises subsidized was accepted. The directors received what they demanded and ceased to be a party interested in continuing the strike. Miners were forced to return to work. Bad things in Ukraine. Kind of bad things. Party budget, please go up. All right, what bill do they want? This is from the Social Democrats, if I'm not mistaken. All right. So they have a pension. They want a mixed system in the pension. Odd coming from them, I guess. They want no pollution controls. They want to negotiate with trade unions. And they want to go to compulsory work in prisons. Let's see. They want to go to smoking only in designated areas. They want to decrease marijuana to only for research purposes. They want education to go to a decentralized system. They want to have religion go to sect persecution, which is also kind of odd for them. They want to go to several official languages. They want to go to gambling being prohibited. They want the special services to have control over all communications. I don't have a problem with that. And they want the land taxes to go to high taxes. The state structure to go to unitary national autonomies. I guess that's more of a Spanish system right there. I am definitely going to not pass this. I mean, I don't have a problem with some of these things, but they're kind of going a little too far with this. So sorry, buddy. And of course, they had no support. The communists were for it. Huh, that's kind of odd. But I guess the reason why the communists were for it was because of the whole special services thing. You have certain cases like that where like the different parties will put bills out there, and purely because of one thing, the other parties will go for it. Which, I mean, hey, if you want to do that, oh great. Who did this? Blue Guard? Oh, okay. That's okay. So Blue Guard wants to start trouble. It's always fun. But they're really not that big a deal. Like, they have support over here. They have a slight amount of support over there. They have some support here. And some support there. I guess I could go ahead and go after them. It's not like it's that big a deal. If I had internal affairs, I could go after their wings and stuff like that, and that would really cripple them, but I can't. So, what should I do? First, let's do this, because I'm about to do some illegal actions. Let us... Okay, so we need more recruits. Well, let's go ahead and build up the recruits. And then I'll also work with the Prime Minister's office in order to get rid of some of those. Well, I think I can do it with the Ministry of Defense, I believe. Or I could just blame somebody in my party. There's always that. But yeah, I don't have a lot of money right now, so I won't do that. But I'll just do some rallies for right now. That's fine. This media thing is really bugging me. I haven't done a rally in a while now that I think about it. Come on. On to the next month. There we go. After a long siege of Sarajevo, the troops of the Republika Srpska was able to prepare all the forces and launch a new full-scale offensive against the positions of the army of Bosnia and Herzegovina. As a result of the victory of the Serbian troops, the city of Sarajevo was completely blocked. In addition, Serb troops managed to occupy Trnava, as well as the Boloshnistia and Igman Mountains. Western community demands immediate peace conference and withdrawal of troops from Sarajevo. Okay. All right, and those rallies are gone now. There are more rallies. Blue Guard is really trying my patience now that I think about it. Okay. Also, rally? Why didn't it initiate the first time? All right. Okay. So there's that. I do need to do some illegal actions. So, vote the party. And I can't strengthen the wings yet. No, I can't. So let me go ahead and get rid of this the illegal actions that I have. Throw some money in the bank. Exclude another member. Throw some money in the bank. All right. So now that leaves me in pretty good standings. I don't have to worry about the legal action aspect. And let's see, what else can I do? One of our combat units must capture and defeat the enemy party. I'll go ahead and build up some recruits first before I do that, because I don't know what type of effect it's gonna have by itself. I can do some talk shows, so that's always nice. Let me do it up here. Had a bigger effect up here. And I think what it is just, it's because of the population. So because over here, the majority of the population is mixed state corporation. So I guess that's the reason why it has a much larger effect of doing talk shows in this region on the middle class than it does over here, where the majority of the population is small businesses. So charities are more effective and it gives you more impact as far as the low income voters go. Same with over here. And I'm assuming the same over here. You know, they are cooperatives, so interesting. All right, on to the next month. The military should have a pretty big budget right now. Come on. All right. All right, so those protests are over with now. Got a low budget, not a whole lot. Let's see. Defense. All right, defense has a pretty nice budget now. Adaptability is down. Do one of these real quick. Conscription is still in effect. I think no matter what happens, if you go ahead and you choose any of these options, if the operability gets low, they're still in effect unless you cut them off. So let's see. Get some influence. And then let's do some sudden inspections. Some more influence. And I guess I could get a little bit of budget too. That at 100. Oh, that's right. I can't steal it. I just thought about that. Yeah, you can't steal it once you turn around and once it gets below the actual max amount of budget, then you can't steal anymore. So I'll wait for right now. That's fine. And I'll do some sudden inspections. It's okay if it's low because again, it's making so much money over here that it's gonna get that money right back in pretty much a month. So that's fine. Then again, I could take some money from the Ministry of Education, I believe. Yeah, they're still doing fine. I don't have to worry about them. The operability is getting much higher. So I actually might be able to do some of these other pretty big reforms before the next election. In fact, yeah, more than likely I will. Education and the Prime Minister thing is just gonna be like that. I don't think it's ever gonna be in a really good position, so I'll steal some money from them. And I might end up giving that to somebody else eventually because I can't really do anything with the operability. Like it's not gonna change much. Yeah, that's plus 0.1 and then this is plus 0.6 and nothing else really does anything for it. So okay, so now it's time to use some of this budget. Let's go up here. Let's do the talk shows. Some charity work too. Okay. That gave me back a lot of support. That gave me a lot of support as well. I really wish you could kind of do like in the UK and just call for like an early election. If that was the case, I would just go ahead and do it now because I have a lot of support. Okay, that's not moving anymore. I'm just wasting money. All right, so that gives me a lot of middle class support. And if I can keep that pretty high, then that'll put me in a pretty good position as far as keeping the other parties off my back. Right? Ooh, not a lot of support. Okay, let's do that for right now. Research is, we're at 5 of 20 months. Can we get some support here? No, that's right, I can't because I don't have anything as far as the administrative resources go. Then again, I can call on different groups. Need to do recruiting. Okay. I got the relations down a little bit. And you can help me out too, as far as recruiting goes. All right. Advance to the next month. So yeah, like I said, a lot of this is just going to be balancing back and forth the different departments and the different factions and stuff. Also, let's see. How do we have some administrative points? I guess we can go ahead and give some more to the different wing. enough. Party budget of 10. Got dog it. Defense ministry, do you have money? Yes, you do. See, got that money right back. And the corruption is still fairly low, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. Do more sudden inspections. Get some influence. All right. Come back over here to my party. This will put me on a path to kind of unify this party wing. All right, so let's strengthen. Comrade Chairman, this cannot go on. I, as your deputy, can no longer remain silent. The socialist movement is as close as possible to a split. The former unity is gone, and party conflicts do not allow our party to get out the shackles of endless strife. I am also forced to say that the leaders of the two most influential wings of our party are ready to take your place, and if at least one of the factions gains an edge in this endless struggle, then you will have to say goodbye to big politics. Frankly, I suggest that you put an end to this senseless idea of retaining a shaky union between factions and join one of them, thereby knocking out the position of your political opponents. All right, so Russian with Republican brothers forever? Farewell, farewell, unwashed Russia, the land of slaves. Jesus Christ, the wording there. Continue to restrain the parties from conflict. Again, I'm going to side with the Euro side, but Jesus, come on. Pro-Russian socialists are miserable traitors who only put on a mask of representatives of the people. This is how the leader of the socialists began his speech. Known among all members of the SRP, their actions can be assessed as a betrayal of the ideals of all socialist parties. Behind their insignificant slogans of cooperation with Russia and the CIS lies only the money of Russian big capital, which they are so happy to serve. Eurosceptic slogans uttered from the lips of pro-Russian socialist leaders are only miserable populism, indulgence in capitalism, and the desire to gain the imaginary popularity in the eyes of the people, throwing dust in the eyes of our citizens. Our path is not that. The party line is to prepare our people for the democratic transition of society to European socialism based on legitimate struggle. Opponents of the party course apostates who embarked on a path of pretense before Russia. Comrades, I think you understand that now your slogans are a crime against our people and the future inevitable European integration. This speech of the party leader was sent to all departments of the regions of the party, read at meetings, causing a considerable resonance among the members of the SRP. The wing of the pro-Russian socialists has lost some of its supporters, but it's still influential. So we're on the path to trying to go ahead and unify the parties, well, the party at this point. So now we're kind of, that should help us out with party unity in the long run. Now, of course, this knocked down my party support to 55. Let's come back over here, throw some money in the bank. That's fine. That's also the reason why I did that, because I wanted to go ahead and make sure I had some money just in case something goes sideways. So if I go to modifiers here, it shouldn't be too bad now. Let's see. Let me see. Legacy of socialism, schism. Okay, the schism is still there, but now it's only 0.6. Jesus Christ, minus 3.6. So yeah, I need to hurry up and go ahead and unify this, and I think I might actually have enough to do it. Do I have enough to do it? Let's see. They start off with 10. Got it to 40. Defense ministry, can I steal from your budget? Because I need to steal from you. Okay, they're at 281, so I can't do that right now. Prime Minister's office. Yeah, I can do it with them. Let's see. Yeah, they have plenty of money. Get it up to 100. And let me come back to the party. Throw some money into the wing. Okay, so I need 20 in order to turn around and completely unify the party under the European Socialist wing. Yeah, I'll go ahead and steal that from them so I can go ahead and get that out the way. Okay. Oh, wait. Before I do that, let me steal a little bit more, even though it's going to throw my corruption into a ridiculous point. Because I'm going to need that extra money in order to turn around and throw it back into the bank in order to completely unify my party behind the European Socialists. So let's go ahead and strengthen. Comrade Chairman, this crisis requires decisive action. Despite all attempts to maintain control of the party to keep it from a split, our forces were wasted. Judging by the latest negative trends, the split in the socialist movement is closer than ever. We must act decisively and quickly, otherwise there will no longer be that united force that could take power in the Republic into our own hands and carry out socialist reforms in our country. The endless conflict between the pro-Russian members of the SRP on the one hand and the adherents of the European integration on the other, it is difficult to determine which of them has sufficient influence to lead the party. But the fact remains, someone very zealously wants to take the place of the General Secretary of the Socialists. In the end, it's time to take either side. The current balance of power can't be maintained anymore. All right. Russia and we are not on the way. Support the Euro Socialists. There we go. I should end this. We can no longer tolerate the tricks of pro-Russian pseudo-socialists, instigators who made their way into our movement, terrorizing it from within and also discrediting it in the eyes of true social democrats. This is how the leader began her speech at the annual Congress of the SRP party. All Russophile party members who are here should immediately leave our movement. Your perverted pseudo-popular slogans are a direct threat to the existence of our party and the future of the social change in the Republic. To the applause of Euro-Atlanteans and the exclamation and cries of the pro-Russians, leader went down from the rostrum and sat down in her seat in the hall. A representative from the opposing wing and their leader resolutely went to the podium, starting his response monologue. The current chairman is a liar, a traitor to our movement, who, hiding behind the slogans of socialism with a supposedly European face, is in fact a miserable supporter of the bourgeoisie, democracy, and traitor to the idea of socialism. Restraining us, supporters of cooperation with the Russians, and not savages from the Western capitalism, the current leader of our movement leads us into the abyss, thereby condemning our movement to inevitable death. I, on behalf of the delegates of the pro-Russian socialists, put forward the initiative to immediately vote on the removal of the current leader from the post of General Secretary. Those who agree raise party cards. The delegates from the pro-Russian wing solidly raise their party cards. Whoever is against it raised their cards, continued their leader. Members of the European Socialist Solid raised their cards, but their mood was less convincing, since there was fewer delegates at the Congress. However, at the last moment, when the leader of the pro-Russian Socialists was ready to declare his victory, the less numerous factional group of libertarian socialists raised their membership cards, thereby retaining the position of the current leader. Realizing that this was a decisive moment and it was necessary to act immediately, the party leader took to the podium for the second time and put forward a vote to exclude the entire elite of the influential pro-Russians, calling them traitors of the Western future of the Republic. To the applause of the European Socialists, she raised her party card and the rest followed suit. The Libertarian Socialists also supported this initiative in exchange for an agreement to include their representative in the party's top leadership. The pro-Russian wing suffered a tremendous defeat and were forced to leave the Congress. The party split was prevented. All right. Now we don't have to worry about that no more, and our party is unified. After the last Congress of the SRP, where the party chairman delivered her famous Among the Socialist speech, the goals of our party on the road to European integration, condemning the decision of the party Congress, the leader of the pro-Russian wing left the Congress with his supporters. The end of the SRP is near. Now there are only marginals and radicals in the party who will inevitably lead the movement to another split. Sad to say, but we have no choice but to leave the SRP and establish our own party, said the leader of the pro-Russian socialists in an interview with our newspaper. All right. So our party is unified now. We shouldn't have to worry about that modifier anymore. Hopefully it's actually gone. Let's see. And it does look like it's gone. Leading faction in the CRP, pro-European socialists, growth of support for pro-Western regions, fall of relations with the CIS, and growth of relations with the West. So, okay, that actually helps us out. So, yeah, now as you can see, we don't have that negative modifier for the Americans anymore. We do have we still have a negative modifier for the Russians, however. So, but yeah, we've actually unified the party now, so I don't have to worry about that. We have bad relations with the mafia and bad relations with the RAF. Okay, so I need to work on that because that gives me a negative modifier for the lower and middle class. Okay. It's funny because I always thought the mafia was for the higher class, but I guess I was wrong in that. Okay, so let's throw some money at my party. And let's see. Not centralized. What does that mean? It is centralized. Okay, legal actions. Let's throw some money in the bank. Foreign relations. And I'm not sure what these actually are, but it really hasn't changed my relations a whole lot. Relations with the RF's party. Okay. Go ahead and put it on that because that didn't do anything. It's just been sitting there the entire time. Okay. All right, now we have the research and other things that we can focus on. So let's see what we have. Okay, I might need to go ahead and let some time pass so we can see the effects of this. We have a lot of support among the middle class, though. That's nice. Today in Moscow, by a decision of the Council of Heads of the CIS states, it was approved the creation of a Council of Foreign Ministers, which would coordinate the foreign policy activities of member states, including their activities in international organizations, and organize consultations on issues of world politics of mutual interest. Okay. The political crisis in the Russian Federation reached its peak. Boris Yeltsin, in a televised message, said that he had issued a decree on phased constitutional reform, according to which the Congress of the People's Deputies and the Supreme Council should cease their activities. He was supported by the Council of Ministers led by Viktor Chernobylin and Moscow Mayor Yuri Leskov. Members of the Supreme Council and People's Deputies were actually blocked in the White House, where communications and electricity were disconnected and there was no water. The building was cordoned off by the police and military personnel. In turn, opposition volunteers were given weapons to guard the White House. What will happen next? That's a very good question. All right, so there's a bill put forward. Who put it forward? Oh, the Blue Guard. Let's see. What do you want? You want... Oh, okay. They want to have return subsidies for border control. They want the absence of a jury in court control. They want religious covenants in the Constitution. So, I mean, this was already going to be a no anyway, but whatever. They want military patriotic circles as far as the youth interest goes. They want documents in the state language. They want flat taxes. And that's it. Is there anything else you want? You're not going to get it. So vote against it. Sometimes I really wonder like what they're thinking when they come through this. At the same time, I think this is on sandbox mode. So I guess it kind of makes sense that the AI isn't the smartest. There's no way in hell I'm going to give you any of that. So, all right. More issues with the Blue Guard. Let me go ahead and do a rally against them. Okay. So there's that. And let me do an illegal action if I can. I don't need to surround the parliamentary building in which I have control over. Possibly. Should I attack or sow terror? I'll sow terror since it's higher. And attack the Blue Guard. Recently, attacks have begun against influential members and employees of the Blue Guard headquarters. Malefactors doused them with paint on the way to work, set fire to apartment doors, and constantly threatened. Supporters of the BG and the persons of higher class accused the leader of being unable to solve the problems of the safety of his own personnel. The leader of the BG in turn accuses his political opponents of trying to bring BG out of the political arena. You're damn right I'm trying to bring you out of the political arena. I'm trying to get rid of you completely. And I promise you with some of these bills that I have planned on, I am going to do that. So, let's see. Alright, more money in the bank so they can get off my ass. Not gonna murder the head of state. Okay, and let me work on some of these factions too. I'll give you... Well, that's all the money I got. Bullshit. Okay. Defense Ministry. I need you to get money. The situation in Moscow escalates. On October 3rd, supporters of the Supreme Council gathered for a rally on October Square, then moved to the White House and unblocked it. I did not know the name of the palace or whatever in Moscow was the White House, but all right. Vice President Alexander Rutsko urged them to storm the city hall on Novi Arbat and Ostenkino. Armed demonstrators seized the city hall building, but when they tried to get into the television centers, a tragedy erupted. Today, troops loyal to President Yeltsin launched an assault on the House of Soviets. The White House has undergone massive tank fire. In the afternoon, the defenders of the Supreme Council began to leave the building en masse, and by the evening, they stopped resistance. Opposition leaders, including Kazbolotov and Rutsko, were arrested. Now nothing threatens Yeltsin's power. Okay, so they went full dictatorship over there. Mass rallies took place near the SDRP, so the Social Democrats are facing problems. Not my problem. Okay. Alrighty, still have support over here. And I'm guessing because of all these actions, that's what's kind of screwing up the budget right now. So Russia, I need you to get your shit together. Okay, they're back. Well, my ministry is back. The one that I normally steals from. Get that. And I guess I could pour some money into this again. I think I'm going to start focusing on this region because this is the region that always gives me the most trouble when it comes to the Blue Guard. So, do some charity work. Okay, let's not doing anything more there. Right. The Communist Party has a lot of support over here. That's surprising. All right, now let's start working on this region because again, we don't have a lot of support over here. Am I out of budget? I am out of budget. Okay. All right. So now we're working on these regions. It looks like we're doing pretty good. We need to start working on the conservatives though, because now they're becoming a pain in my ass. All right. Can't really do any rallies or anything right now, so I'll wait on that. Okay, and I'll save that for the next video. I think yeah, let's go ahead and advance a month, and then I'll go ahead and stop it after that. See if any more events pop up, since we have this ongoing situation with Russia right now. Well, I guess I can go ahead and go to the end of the year, so that way we'll at least be in another year. This has all happened within a very short period of time, so okay. Blue Guard problems. And we got rallies against us. Wonderful. They got rallies against them as well. So the conservatives, ironically, are attacking the Blue Guard a lot, which I don't have a problem with. By all means, please do. Now I need to start attacking the conservatives because they're becoming a pain in my ass over there in the east. And they're the Communist Party on here, so yep. And let me do an illegal action as well. Can I do an illegal action? Yes, I can. Yeah, that's right? Okay. So That should hurt them quite a bit. And I guess we can take the rest of the money and try and fund some actions over here. All right, keep it going, keep it going. All right, so that's as much as it's going to do for right now. The rest I'll just kind of have to keep attacking the conservatives and keep pressure on them. But yeah, so far we have really strong support throughout the country. It's funny because, I mean, I passed all those election laws, but at the same time, I probably won't even actually need them because of all the support that I have as far as the country goes. And granted, the next election isn't until 1997, which, you know, we still have a good 4 years almost. So yeah. All right, I think I am going to stop it right there. So if you like the video, like the video. If you want to see more content like this, subscribe. I have plenty of stuff on my channel, and I will have plenty of stuff in the future. There's only a couple more days until The Life and Suffering of Sir Bronte comes out. I'm going to try and play both of these. I don't know whether I'm going to do the alternating playlist where I release one day and I release the other one the next day and kind of go back and forth. I might try and do 2 a days because they are very different from each other, and there seems to be 2 different, I guess you could say, sections of the people that watch my videos that prefer to see those or whatever. So let me know in the comment section. I'll probably leave something up to see if, you know, if that's what people want to see. I think I can do 2 a days. There's a lot of dialogue in there though, but I think I can do 2 a days because Collapse isn't very hard to record. It's really easy to record, actually. I can just kind of get up and do it. Whereas The Life and Suffering of Sir Bronte, there's a lot of dialogue that I got to go through, and I'm pretty sure with the full game being out, it's going to be more dialogue there too. So yeah, that's going to be all for this one. So in the next video, I think we'll just kind of keep focusing on the same thing. We'll probably get a lot further into the future or whatnot. And I might play some of this off camera, so if you look over here and see the data is different and you see the support is different, that's probably the reason why, because I just feel like I might need to just do some of this off screen, because it's just a lot of micromanaging. It's just a lot of balancing. So, you know, unless a major event comes up, there's no real need to just, you know, kind of sit here and record that. But anywho, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. See you.